All right, welcome back to the deep dive.
Good to be here.
We've got quite a stack of articles and notes in front of us today. We're going deep on something that, well, really sent shockwaves through the NBA recently.
Yeah, the lifetime ban for Jontay Porter.
Exactly. It's a heavy one.
It really is. A young player's career just gone.
Yeah.
So our goal here, I think, is to sift through these sources together, pull out the key stuff, the essentials,
Right. Help you get a quick handle on the core facts, but also, maybe more importantly, the significance of it all. What does this actually mean?
because it does go beyond just one player, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It touches on, sports integrity, the whole growing relationship between pro sports and betting. It's huge.
The stakes are just enormous now.
Right. So maybe let's start with the basics. Who is Jontay Porter? What do the sources tell us?
Okay. Well, he's known as the younger brother of Michael Porter Jr., who, plays for the Nuggets.
Okay, but he wasn't just the brother, right? These articles suggest he had real promise himself.
Definitely. Coming out of Missouri, he was seen as a genuinely promising big man. Like 6'10", had skills, court vision.
A good basketball IQ, I read somewhere. People thought he could be a real asset long term.
Yeah, potential was there.
Mm.
But his path was rocky. Very rocky, right from the beginning.
The injuries, that's what jumps out from these notes.
2 torn ACLs,
Hmm.
one in high school, another in college.
Yeah.
That's just brutal for development.
Absolutely brutal. It really impacted his draft stock, didn't it?
Massively. He ended up going undrafted in 2019 because of it.
Wow. 2 ACLs before even getting a pro contract.
But he did get a shot.
Right. The Toronto Raptors, they took a chance on him.
Yep. And he was getting some minutes this season, playing for them. And then, well, this all happened.
And how it happened is really where this deep dive gets, it gets fascinating and pretty concerning.
It seems it kicked off early in 2024. The NBA's integrity units, they started noticing some, let's say, suspicious betting patterns.
Suspicious how? What were they seeing?
Well, the focus was on Raptors games, specifically games where Jontay Porter played. But the weird part,
Yeah.
the focus was really sharp on nights when he played very, very limited minutes.
Like checking out after just 3 or 4 minutes, that kind of thing.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
And when you pair that pattern with certain bets being placed, well, it raises red flags, big ones,
What kind of bets?
large bets,
Yeah.
apparently. And they were consistently on his unders.
Unders, meaning betting he'd score fewer points, get fewer rebounds than expected.
Fewer points, fewer rebounds, assists, whatever the prop bet was, people were betting under. And when he barely played,
Those bets won.
they won consistently. So the investigation had to figure out why. And what they uncovered, according to these findings, is pretty stunning. Porter was found to have given confidential information to gamblers
Insider info. About what?
about his own health status, information nobody else would have.
Whoa. Okay, so he wasn't just sharing info. Was he actually, influencing the outcome himself?
That seems to be the core finding, yes. He was manipulating his own performance. The sources detail that he would essentially fake or exaggerate health issues, claim an illness or an injury flare-up.
To limit his own playing time.
Exactly. To make sure he didn't play enough minutes to hit the over on those prop bets, to ensure the under bets cashed.
That is, wow. That's a whole different level of misconduct.
It really is. And it didn't stop there either.
There's more.
He was also found to have placed bets on NBA games himself,
No, on his own games.
including Raptors games, yes. Apparently using someone else's online betting account to do it.
Man. Okay, so once the league had all this confirmed, the hammer came down fast, didn't it? Commissioner Silver didn't mess around.
Not at all. Swift,
What?
decisive. The verdict was a lifetime ban from the NBA.
Lifetime. What does that actually entail? Is it really forever?
It really means forever. The sources are clear. It's not just playing. He's permanently barred, no coaching, no staff positions, not even G League access.
So completely out of professional basketball, effectively.
Completely out. Finished.
And the league's justification for something so severe.
It all comes down to their zero-tolerance policy on this stuff. Gambling misconduct, especially manipulating games or sharing inside info.
Yeah.
The league statements called it the ultimate betrayal of the sport. They had to draw a hard line.
Understandable. I mean, you have to protect the integrity of the game, but still, a lifetime ban. That must have sent ripples everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. Shockwaves is the right word. The basketball community was stunned.
What were some of the reactions noted in the sources? His coach in Toronto, for instance.
Yeah, Raptors coach Darko Rajakovic, he expressed being disappointed and sad. which, you can understand.
And his brother, Michael Porter Jr., that must be incredibly difficult.
He hasn't said a lot publicly, which is also understandable. But the articles mentioned, yeah, it's created tension, difficulty for him, and around the Nuggets.
Tough situation. And what about, like, fans? Online reactions?
Pretty divided, from what the sources suggest.
Mm.
You saw some people feeling the lifetime ban was way too harsh for a young guy.
A mistake shouldn't end a whole career, maybe.
That kind of sentiment. But then, many others argued it was absolutely necessary, that the integrity of the competition has to come first, no matter who it is.
Protect the shield, as they say.
Exactly. And some former players seem to agree with the league's decision.
Oh, yeah. Who?
Richard Jefferson, J.J. Redick were mentioned. Their perspective generally was that the NBA basically had no other choice. They had to set a strong precedent here.
Make an example.
Right. Send a clear message.
Which kind of brings us to the bigger picture, right? This isn't just about Jontay Porter. These sources all seem to point towards a wider concern.
Definitely. The whole culture around sports gambling now, it's everywhere.
It really is. Betting apps on your phone, ads during games, access is just constant.
And that creates a whole new level of risk, doesn't it? Especially for athletes. The pressure, the temptation.
It feels like it really highlights a need for more prevention, maybe? Like education for young players, support systems.
Clearer boundaries, maybe. Because this case shows, pretty chillingly, how one really bad decision may be influenced by that easy access. It can just wipe out a career. Everything someone's worked for their whole life, gone.
It's a stark warning. The message coming through all this material seems to be that the game itself, its fairness, its integrity, that's got to be number one.
Absolutely. It's bigger than the money, bigger than any one player.
And nobody, no matter how talented, is above the rules meant to protect that.
That seems to be the fundamental point the league is making.
So we've kind of walked through it all here. Porter's background, the potential he had.
And the specifics of the scandal,
Yeah.
how it actually unfolded, the bets, the info.
Right, and then the league's really swift, severe reaction and how everyone responded.
Yeah, it covers a lot of ground. A really difficult situation in modern pro sport.
Definitely gives you a comprehensive look. So thinking about everything we've just unpacked from these sources, here's something for you, the listener, to maybe chew on. With gambling being so easy to access now, everywhere, and knowing the pressures these young athletes are under, what's the right balance? How do you protect the integrity of the game and look out for the individuals playing it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It really is. What does this whole Jontay Porter situation make you think about where things are heading with sports and betting? Something to consider.